Hello, vinyl community. Elliot here, Lazy Dogs Records, and that was myself and Ernest Eldridge, a VC member who I had the opportunity to meet at the Wilson Records show a couple of months back. And he has a 200 video thread or tag that he started that I'd certainly wanted to participate in. It's been real hectic around here during the Christmas holiday, so I've had time to sit down and assemble what I need for that tag and share that with you. Uh, Ernest's channel is great. He's got about 175 or 80 members on his channel, subscribers on his channel. So I'd urge you, after you watch this video, to click on a link that I'll provide there to one of Ernest's videos. And I'd urge you to subscribe to his channel. He's a really nice guy. I really enjoyed meeting him and having the opportunity to talk to him a little bit uh, in Wilson. And I urge you. He travels a lot. He goes to a lot of interesting places. He's got a really nice Instagram account as well. He and his wife do coffee critiques and recommendations and food recommendations, and he is heavily into the vinyl community, and he shows a lot of interesting stuff that he finds he picks up and talks about some great music, a lot of stuff I'm totally unaware of. And Ernest has introduced me to those artists, uh, several of them, a lot of them, in fact. So he's got 5 simple questions for this tag. Please do this tag and spread it out. Let's get Ernest's name out there uh, among the vinyl community and increase his presence in the vinyl community as far as having subscribers and people watching his videos. It's called Ernest Eldridge, the Trailer Park Pimp. That's just a joke, so don't take it too serious. But he's a character, and here are his 10 or 5 uh, prompts for his little tag. Uh, Favorite country album, and he said this could be any type of variation of country. He didn't have to, no strict guidelines. I thought about this, and I thought about different things, different albums, and uh, it was just so hard to decide. But for today, Sunday, the 8th or so of 2025, my favorite country album is Towns Van Zant live at the Old Quarter, Houston, Texas. And this is one of the old poppy or tomato pressings of it. And Tomato Music Company is what it's actually on. Let's let you see. That came out in 1977. Obviously, a live album, and it's just an excellent album. Uh, Even the introduction announcements are a treat.
I have a few announcements for the people that just came in. Other people have heard it 5 times, I'm sure. The restrooms are upstairs. Payphones upstairs. Pool tables upstairs. Foosballs upstairs. Cigarette machines upstairs. No, we're not talking about that. This week, the Old Quarters had Towns Van Zant for 5 nights. We have him for one more night, and we're glad to have him here tonight. Towns Van Zant.
But on here, just he and the guitar. They just sitting at this very small club in Houston, Texas, the Old Quarter, and sitting there with his guitar and playing songs for the folks there with uh, no air conditioning on at the time. He does Brand New Companion on here. To Live is to Fly. Uh, for the Sake of the Songs on here. The Tower Song. Tecumseh Valley, which is my favorite. I'm trying to learn to play that on the guitar. It's simple chords, but it's not simple because you got to go from an F to a C back to an F repeatedly on this song. And anybody that tries to play the guitar that's not good at it, you know how hard getting to that bar chord F is. So I'm working on it. Rex's Blues is on here. Of course, Poncho and Lefty. Uh, Fraternity Blues is a funny, funny song. There's several funny songs. He tells some the corniest jokes on here, but I highly recommend. This has been repressed uh, a few times since its original release. The coolest artist you ever met. Okay, coolest artist I ever met. I thought about this. I haven't met a huge number of people. I met little Jimmy Dickinson. That was a treat back in the early '80s. Uh, yeah, I met one or two, but Southern Culture on the Skids. I got some pictures taken with them one time when they were doing a street fair, not too far away, and that was a treat. But as far as having any kind of conversations beyond the very, just hey, really enjoy your work, that sort of thing. Do you mind signing this, or can I get a picture? Uh, I have to say that it was a recent uh, meeting with an artist, and he doesn't have any LPs. Uh, all his music is on CD, and it's Lightning Wells. And there's a Lightning Wells, Ragtime Millionaire, and there's Lightning Wells Bullfrog Blues. And if you see on that, he signed it. It says Elliot, thanks and best wishes, Lightning Wells. And I've seen Lightning a few times, and one time I saw him was with the old blues man Big Boy Henry, and Lightning didn't produce this, but I think he has produced some tracks uh, by Big Boy Henry from the coast of North Carolina, an old blues man that was really fun to see as well. But Lightning, I go to record shows and set up at record shows, and lo and behold, somebody was at the Wilson show, the same one where I saw Ernest, and I noticed he just was real familiar with a lot of the artists that I had in my stacks, and he and another guy were talking a little bit, and I kind of talked to him a little bit and tried to tried to figure out who if I would know him or who he might be. Being I thought he was someone from this general area, of course. And he's finally he says, "Well, I'm Lightning Wells." And I said, "Oh man, Lightning Wells, oh cool, man. You're I've got your CDs, you know." And I said, "Man, you need to." And we talked a while, he I said, "Man, you really need to get these CDs pressed on vinyl, and maybe he'll do that one day." And then he was selling. He wasn't selling this day, I don't think, in Wilson. Maybe he was, but he was just looking at my stuff. But a few weeks later, I was in Durham at a record show, and he was in at the selling at the table beside my table. So we got to talk some more. And so we've had some really nice conversations, and I've really enjoyed talking to him. He's kind of a music historian. He's done a lot of work in finding old 45s from the 60s and things like this. Uh, in his albums, he's an acoustic Piedmont style blues man, more or less, at least a country blues artist. But he searches out, collects, and researches about old record companies, record labels, uh, regional labels, and things like that, and the bands that played in them and stuff. So we talked a lot about that sort of thing. And if you're familiar with the Bear Family Records. I think it's in Germany, right? Uh, he's done the liner notes for some of their CDs that they've released of obscure music and things like that. So, the coolest person I ever met uh, was is Lightning Wells, and I'm looking forward to the shows coming up in the spring, and hopefully he'll be at those too, and we can talk some more. Really nice guy. The third prompt is an artist you would like more people to know about. I went back and forth on who I might feature in this prompt, and a new artist or somebody that's kind of been kind of forgotten or something. And this is the one I came up with. Exactly how unknown he is, I'm not sure. I mean, people knew about him during his prime in the '70s, but he was on a major label and everything. Put out a lot of albums, but I'm basing this on the fact that his albums are don't move. People aren't searching them out and picking them up too often, and I think they really should. And that's a singer songwriter named Jesse Winchester. Uh, I was talking to somebody at a record show, and we were talking about some similar artists to this and everything. And I said, he's kind of like Jesse Winchester. And the guy looked at me and said, I don't know who that is. And so I did my best to tell him a little bit about Jesse Winchester. But Jesse Winchester's a great songwriter, and he recorded a lot of albums uh, for Bearsville, and you're familiar with those labels there. And this particular one is called album is called A Touch on the Rainy Side, and singer songwriter. If you like James Taylor, if you like John Prine, Steve Goodman, people like that. This would be another artist you could say, well, I've got all Prine's work, or I've got all Steve Goodman's work, and I'm looking for something else. Try Jesse Winchester if you're not familiar with him. If you are familiar with him, revisit him. How about that? Put it that way. Okay, Jesse Winchester. The four, the fourth prompt is a song or album that reminds you of your grandparents. This was a tough one. Uh, my I don't really remember listening to music or observing them listening to music uh, when I was growing up and around my grandparents. On my father's side, Ethel Cruz. Uh, what I remember musically about that grandmother was we would be over at her house on, I guess it was Saturday afternoons, and we'd be playing and everything. And if you were in her living room and everything, you had to get quiet or you had to go outside and play when the Lawrence Welk show came on. Because that was a show she really liked it. And then on my mother's side, uh, I, I'm named after my grandfather, and my grandmother was Bryce Russell, and so I don't really remember anything musically. They lived a distance away, and I would go spend time with them, of course, but music wasn't normally a part of that. But I remember my grandfather telling me that I guess it was his father, so my great grandfather, and he had a uh, mill pond where he built a deck, a dance floor deck type thing, where they had bands that played. Remember him telling me that. And my grandfather must have been like 17 or 18 or 19. He booked some bands, a mandolin band to play there one time. Mandolin bands, big orchestras of mandolins, used to be a thing around the turn of the century, at least. He was born in uh, 1899, I believe it was 99 or 98. And he who told me that story. So that's the only memories I've got of music related to them. But I do remember when this album came out, Willie Nelson Stardust. I gave my grandfather that this record uh, because I thought these would be some songs that he would enjoy, like Stardust and Blue Skies and Moonlight in Vermont and Someone to Watch Over Me, things like that. So that's about all I can do on that one. The final prompt is an artist you'd love to see a new album out in 2026 by. And I've selected Sierra Farrell, and this is her album from 2021 called Long Time Coming. She put out an album in 2024, so hopefully in 2026 she'll put out some new material. A lot of you are probably familiar with her. I came along uh, to appreciate her only a couple of years ago. So a lot of you have probably been aware of her and enjoying her music for a lot longer than I have. But I just was overwhelmed when I heard this album, and then when I got the second, most recent album from 2024. Just a wonderful artist. Uh, Writes most of her own stuff. Very, very creative, very artsy, craftsy. She gets all these elaborate costumes she wears when she performs live and things like that, and does all kinds of interesting things. Uh, Probably the best, what we might call Americana artist to come along in a long, long time. So I'm looking forward to seeing if maybe Sierra Farrell will do something for us soon. Okay, so please subscribe to Ernest's channel. Please, please, please support him. Do a tag for this video if you get a chance so we can spread the word about Ernest's channel. And I will remind all of you, be kind to your neighbors, folks, because we're all neighbors and we need to spread love, not hate in this world.